live. Those retweets off. All right, welcome to Dear Mr. Fantasy Playoff Edition, Week 15. If you're tuned in, we assume you got a matchup today, tomorrow, Monday. Very exciting. Mintzy, how we doing today?
Doing great, man. A lot of stuff to get into. First of all, I just want to thank people. We're doing the Saturday because there's 3 NFL Saturday games.
Yeah.
And we thought it was a mistake to do Sunday morning because that would have missed 4 of the NFL games already if you factor in Thursday night. So Thank y'all for joining us. We will also repush this on Sunday morning. A bunch of stuff to get into. But first, nice job with that Thursday night parlay, Mr. Cheah. Plus 875, man. For transparency, Steven has done better on the parlay than me and took it over and has rocked the good name. And big shout. I want to give him congrats.
I think this is our – I don't know if this is our second. I think it was maybe the third win this year.
Definitely, yeah, I think it's the third win, but this was the best odds by far. You had a couple that were like 4-1-ish. And then the one I got shafted when the Bears didn't score on that Thursday night, that crazy game against the football team. I would have hit a 9-1 if that play had been a touchdown at the end. But yeah, plus 875 though.
The Jordan Mason, really?
What's up?
The Jordan Mason one?
No, it was the one where Mooney caught the ball.
Oh, different.
Yeah, but it was like if they would have caught it and won, remember he caught it like we're bang on the end zone and got called out at the half-yard line.
Yep.
But that's excuses. You're getting it done. I'm making excuses. But plus 875 is a different deal. That's a lot bigger than 4-1. So I just want to give you a shout out. Good job.
Thank you. So I found it's not a cheat whatsoever, and going this strategy did destroy the TNFFF parlay plus on Thanksgiving. But what I found is I'm typically an overs better. So any prop or game total or anything like that I see, I will 90 to 95% of the time bet the over on that. It's just way more fun to root to, especially as a guy, a fantasy guy at heart. That's what I like to root for. But with these parlays, if you want to get big odds, which you and I have talked about, we both like a lot. It's easier to do if you tease up the point total and then take an under with a lot of overs. So if you do that, it'll really juice the odds in your favor. So we had 3, it was George Kittle over 3.5 catches, Geno Smith over 20.5 completions, Christian McCaffrey touchdown. If we add a 4th leg, if you tease down the under or just tease down the point total to whatever it was 43, I think. If you tease it down to like 33, the odds don't really change.
But if you move it up,
if you tease it up and then take an under, then it actually those 3 overs and the under technically conflict.
Exactly.
So if you can kind of middle that, you get great odds. And we've done that the past couple weeks. It's worked out a few times. Last week or this Thursday, obviously, with the best success. So I'm going to continue to do that. I put one out today that was a little bit similar. It doesn't juice it as much because it's not the same game. But I do really like this play. So it was plus 663 when I put it out this morning. It's one play from every game, or 2 in the first one, but basically a play from every game today and then 1 tomorrow. So I'm trying to get to tomorrow. The play I like tomorrow is Isaiah Pacheco over 69.5 rushing yards against the Texans defense that is horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think Kansas City is going to try to take the air out of the ball in the second half, and he's their main running back. So the plays that I like today, Dalvin Cook over 69.5 rushing yards. The Colts have a bottom 5 or 6 run defense the past 3 weeks. Dalvin Cook also has hit this number, I think, in every game except 1 at home. I like that. I like Matt Ryan over half an interception. He's thrown an interception in every road game but 1 this year. I like Miami at Buffalo. I know there's a weather over 31.5 points. I still think that's a low point total. Baltimore, Cleveland, I like under a teased up 49.5 with Deshaun Watson not really finding his groove yet, and then Tyler Huntley. And then if we can get those 4 legs, 2 of them likely to hit based on the tees. So tomorrow, Isaiah Pacheco over 69.5. That's plus 663. And I've hit on my last 2 big parlays, so hopefully we can make it.
Hell yeah. Well, no, just good job, though. The ones I've got a few props for today as well. I think Matt Ryan's over. I know it's an indoor dome game, which is probably why the over-under's higher. But, man, 253.5 is a lot of passing yards, that Colts passing game, the way it's looked. I think that's too high. So
yeah, I would be careful. Minnesota's the bottom-ranked pass defense in the league.
Yeah, well, I still am going to go under because I think the Colts are going to try to run the ball.
Yep.
I think there's something interesting in the Ravens-Browns game. I actually like Gus Edwards more than Dobbins today.
I hate this Baltimore backfield so much. This was actually Dave's downfall in the fantasy football league with the MLB guys. It's whack-a-mole. You think you like Dobbins, Gus Edwards has a big game. You think you like Gus Edwards, Kenyon Drake has a big game. Like, I hate all of those.
I like Edwards over 37.5. And then in the Miami-Buffalo game, look, I know everybody's piling on Miami because its weather's horrible and Tua's from Hawaii and played at Alabama, but I don't care. I'm still betting under 225.5 Tua in this crappy weather against this Buffalo defense. And their first game was good weather in Miami, and it was 21-17 slugfest. The Miami won. I mean, Miami, this is just – it's going to be rough sledding in Buffalo tonight, and we'll get into how that affects fantasy too. But those are some of and I've also, like, tomorrow, Taysom Hill against the Falcons rivalry game. I like Taysom Hill plus 165 to get in the end zone. I think the Saints are going to use him tomorrow against Atlanta. I just think the plus 165 is too good odds. Before we go further, Stephen, we need to thank some of our sponsors.
Yes, absolutely. Good call. This show is brought to you by Roman. Do you want a better sex life? If so, you are not alone. Up to 50% of men have symptoms that get in the way of wanting or enjoying sex, but Roman is here to help. Roman is the digital health clinic for men. Roman addresses a variety of sexual health needs for men and offers genuine medication that helps achieve and maintain a stronger erection. Roman offers discreet wipes that help you last up to 4 times longer in bed. And Roman offers a testosterone test, which includes lab processing, and if it's appropriate for you, treatment for low testosterone. In men with low T, getting testosterone levels back to normal can help increase your libido. At Roman, there are no waiting rooms and no hassle. It's just a straightforward digital experience for the comfort of your own home. And if medication or testing is appropriate, Roman will send it directly to your door. And everything comes in discreet packaging with free 2-day shipping. To learn more about how you can achieve your personal sexual health goals, go to ro.co/FFF to get 20% off your entire first order. That's ro.co/FFF. Thank you, Roman, for the sponsorship all season long. Those guys are the best. So weather in Buffalo today, certainly going to be an issue. Schefter retweeted the picture of all the snow there. I certainly think weather will be an issue, but I mean, these offenses are so good. How do you see the game shaking out tonight? You alluded to the weather,
man. So I really think, look, don't get me wrong, Miami, I love McDaniel and the play calling and their speed. I just don't think this sets up well. This stuff slows them down a lot up here in the snow and cold. And I don't think it's good for Tua. I mean, his stats are bad in cold weather. I'll go even further. I don't think Miami's the same on the road. I think they're really, really good at home and have got a weird home field advantage. I know they've lost a couple in a row, and they're down 2 games in division now. But Buffalo looks like a pretty obvious pick. But I think this is going to be a struggle for Tua, and this is a bummer for me in fantasy because for transparency, Cheah and Roan's auction team they helped in my $500 league is playing me in our playoff game. And I don't feel good about Jalen Waddle right now at all. He's nicked up with a leg injury. He's playing, and he's been struggling the last few weeks, but I don't think I'm going to be able to bench him, but I'm not feeling very confident.
Yeah. That team has come on with a vengeance, but it's obviously the fantasy playoffs. So let's get a bunch of questions. We have a bunch lined up in the chat.
Sounds good. Real quick before we get into, do you want to get into the Rico or any of the stuff this week before we get into the
Sure. Buck, I'll get back to your question momentarily. Yeah, actually, hold on. We have a few questions. Let's get into
okay,
that.
that's fine. We can do that in the middle.
Get a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
of
We're
these,
here.
and
We're
then,
here. We're
then
chilling. Yeah.
we'll go into the whole Barstool drama this week. From Buck Owski. Hey, boys, of all the people playing in the Buffalo game, who would you bench because of the weather? Mintz, you kind of touched on this, but is there one guy that you really think this affects more than everyone else?
Well, right now, like I said, I'm worried about Waddle because he was doing so well early in the year with Tua, but he's been a little nicked up and his production's really fallen off lately. So he's one I'd look at. And then, look, I don't want to say, you're at the playoffs. If you have another option that has a great matchup, I would start him over Tua, but it's like Tua probably helped get you here. So it's hard to say if you've got another option, but I really don't like him today either at all.
What if your other option was Adam Thielen? What if your other option was Adam Thielen? Benji Hirth was asking about Jalen Waddle or Adam Thielen.
I think I'd go Thielen. It's really close,
Thielen
though.
What do you Colts. Think? Two Saturday games. That one's coming up in a little over half hour.
I think Thielen at home. I'd go Thielen here. Like I said, Waddle might catch like a long one. He's the thing with him is he could catch a 70-yarder at any time, and you just look like an idiot because he's so fast. But
yep.
I think I like Thielen more though. Over-under's higher in that game too.
All right. What do we think about Allen Lazard or Hollywood Brown?
I'm leaning Lazard to these two with Colt McCoy going. Man, I don't know how much you've been following what's happened to the Arizona organization this week. Dude, there is some bizarre stuff. First, Kyler got hurt Monday night. It looks like toward the end of the Kingsbury thing. But you see the mistaken identity thing with the Kugler, the offensive line coach, and the GM, and there's like, sexual assault stuff. I don't know. I don't want anything to do with anything.
I know Steve Keim is away essentially indefinitely.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the story behind that, anyway, basically, there's a lot of crappy stuff going on in Arizona's organization, and I don't think you want to touch any of it. So I'd go Lazard at home against the Rams.
Okay. Tight end question. Dawson Knox, or I can't even say this guy's first name. Chigozium. Okonkwo. I'm not going to try and be an expert of it. Titans tight end. He's had a couple of nice games, 3 multi-catch games in a row. Had a touchdown last week too. So do you like him or Dawson Knox in the weather tonight?
I don't really love either, but I think I'd lean Knox because I know the Titans guy's been a little hot lately, but Knox is, I feel like, a little more established.
Yeah. I like this one. From Jeremy Megger. T. Higgins or Najee Harris. The Bucs have a beat-up secondary right now. I would say that, but Panthers, they've been coming on lately, but Najee's also been a lot better than the past 2 weeks.
And it looks like Pickett's out. They're going to go with Trubisky and Rudolph both practice this week. Higgins practiced on Friday because we actually hadn't gone through injuries yet, but it looks like Higgins and Tyler Boyd are trending toward playing, and Burrow's hot. I'm going Higgins here. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Carolina's defense at home has been really dominant.
Yeah, no, I agree. Good call. Players out for Sunday. So Mike White, Zach Wilson is starting. Corey Davis. I think this makes Garrett Wilson a little flightier. I know he'll get a bump with Corey Davis out, with Mike White out. That kind of takes a step back. So that almost neutralizes it, the injuries there. So we got Brandon Cooks, Dameon Pierce, Derek Stingley, Trey Hendrickson, which is big for the Bucs, Hayden Hurst, Vita Vea, Carl Nassib, Jamel Dean, Bucs corner. So that's very good for T. Higgins. Russell Wilson was clear out of concussion protocol, but they're not going to let him play. That's probably smart for the long term. Cortland Sutton, Kendall Hinton, Zach Allen, Jalen Mills, Devontae Parker, and Adoree Jackson. A couple other injuries to watch. Josh Jacobs and Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris are all listed as questionable for the Raiders-Pats game. Or sorry, Damian Harris is actually out. Ramondre Stevenson is questionable. And that is all. Okay, cool. Here's an interesting one. With the weather in Buffalo, how do we feel about James Cook, who had a down week last week, or Josh Palmer with the Chargers?
Man, that's crazy, but I've been watching the Buffalo thing close because I've had Singletary in fantasy, and he's getting phased out bad right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're, and that's kind of what you see as rookie running backs more and more as the year goes on. But Palmer's been very good, but now they have Keenan Allen and Williams, so there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen with 3 guys. I think I slightly lean Cook here. What do you think? Palmer's been good though, and Herbert's hot.
Yeah, Cook a little bit was disappointing. So a couple weeks ago, he had 14 carries. Last week, he had 4 carries. 1 target in the passing game. So Devin Singletary definitely kind of I think this is a little bit hard to trust. So I would lean Josh Palmer. James Cook could have a good game, but he could also put up a dud based on play time. So I'm not going to necessarily rely on James Cook, though I do think he has good upside if you choose to go that
route. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with going with Palmer.
From Morgan Williams, no PPR, so standard. Ramondre Stevenson, who is questionable. Donovan, the people's champ, Jones, or Adam Thielen?
It's brutal because DPJ and Thielen are Saturday games, but I mean, I think Ramondre is so clearly the better option than those guys that I feel like.
Even if he's nicked up against the Raiders defense, you love Ramondre. I would pick up JJ Taylor just in case. I would probably drop one of these 2. Or if you have an option that is even deeper on your bench, I would drop one of those for JJ Taylor because they might bring him up. So if Ramondre can't go, you at least have a starting running back. But I would go Ramondre / JJ Taylor for this one. Let's see. This one just says Hollywood Brown. Shout out Hollywood Brown. All right, Tom Brady or Baker Mayfield. So we got Baker Mayfield on Monday night against the Packers. We got Tom Brady against Joe Burrow in the afternoon slate tomorrow.
I'm going Brady here. I'm sorry. I just can't go Mayfield. I just can't do it.
Yeah. As bad as and stagnant as the Bucs offense has looked, I think I want to say with any normal team, I'd say, okay, this is a get right week for them. I've watched the Bucs play all season, every snap, multiple angles. I think they just are what they are at this point. I don't think they're going to get a ton better. I still think that a Tom Brady game right now is better than a Baker Mayfield game right now.
Mayfield's only been there a week too, you know. Exactly. I mean, he had the big comeback at the end, but
yeah.
And the Rams are beat up as hell too. I mean, he ain't playing with Cooper Kupp, you know.
Yeah. Here's one. Do we like DeAndre Swift or Chuba Hubbard? I never
Hubbard
thought
had a lot. He had 14 carries last week. Both of these guys are pretty sneaky. I still think I slightly lean Swift because I just like this Detroit offense, man. I like their O-line. Swift's been coming on a little bit lately, but this is a close one.
Mm-hmm. I like this question a lot. Hold on. So where is it? From Graham Smith. What do we think about Justin Jefferson receptions? His over-under is 7.5 in the Barstool Sportsbook, plus 108. I personally am going to lean a little bit to the under here. And it's not because I don't like Justin Jefferson. I think he'll have a great game. 7.5 is just a huge line. And this could be a game that could get out of hand. And I think they could take the air out of the ball. So while I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Justin Jefferson hit this, I know he's had a couple of big games the past few weeks. I'm not necessarily going to bet on him catching 8 or more balls. That's just far too high of a number.
I think there comes a point where it just gets too high, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of like his over-unders 93.5. I'd rather bet over the 93.5 because he might.
Agreed. Yeah, he catches.
Yeah, well, he catches those 20 and 30-yard chunk plays all the time, you know? And so, he could have 5 for 108, and it wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Yeah. All right, we have a lot of questions here. Trying to get them. From Cody Glass, Zay Jones, Michael Gallup, or Jahan Dotson for his second flex?
It's maybe controversial. I actually think Gallup's kind of coming on a little bit. Just because he's farther away from that torn ACL, caught the winning touchdown last week. Zay Jones will drive you crazy because he gets a lot of targets and he drops a just crap ton of balls.
Yeah.
And then Dotson, the football team thing, you got McLaurin, you got Samuel Dotson. I think I slightly lean Gallup here. Do you like Zay Jones or Gallup more?
I think you got to do one of the two from that game just because I think that game could be a sneaky shootout.
High over under.
Yeah. Shout out Riley saying that a lot of windows in here. This is the office in my home.
You're at the office home. I'm actually at I'm at Margaritaville Bossier, lovely Penn property in North Louisiana.
Love it. From our guy Derek Drummond, Cheah legend, Mintz, you're the king of the South. Christian Watson or Chris Godwin?
Man, it's a first world problem because Godwin's been getting a crap ton of targets lately. But Watson, I just don't see how you can bench Watson now.
You can't bench.
What does he have? 7 touchdowns his last 4 games, something like that.
Yeah. Rude redfish, bluefish. We did that one.
Your house is in a flood zone?
Yes.
Hey, Hoboken was kind of like that too for me.
Yeah. From Duhud 14, full point PPR. Yeah, that doesn't really matter for quarterbacks. Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, or Daniel Jones. Be unbiased, Steven. We're gonna cancel out Deshaun Watson. He's been terrible. So Tom Brady or Daniel Jones?
Jones has the sneaky rushing stuff that always he's not great, but he gets that 40 or 50 rushing a lot that he ends up having better games than people think.
Yeah, I just think that's going to be a really low scoring game. I want to say Brady, but I don't because I think objectively the best play is probably Brady, but barely. And their offense is just so frustrating. You know what? Go Daniel Jones in prime time. Brian Dable is going to coach him up. This is a big game. They tied a few weeks ago. Go Daniel Jones.
I think it's just the rushing value. Look, I mean, I don't love Jones either, but it's just the rushing value.
Watson is a healthy third in this.
Watson. This is a write-off year for him.
T. Higgins or Najee Harris half-point PPR?
Second time we've gotten that question.
Sorry.
No. Well, no. I think it's a different one. It's half PPR. I'm going T. Higgins.
Okay. Tony G, this one you got to take. Should I play Waddle, who you're concerned about, or your guy Chris Olave this week?
I think I go Olave at home against Atlanta over Waddle. I hate to be so down on Waddle, but I hadn't, he had such a good start to the year. It just didn't trend in the right way. Olave at home against Atlanta is a good matchup.
Yeah. For a guy, Michael Novella, full point PPR, James Cook, Ben Skowronek. That is a tough name to rely on in playoff time. Or Chris Moore. I assume DJ Moore is the play.
No, Chris Moore.
Or Chris Moore, the Texans guy?
Yeah, that's the Texans receiver with Cooks out.
Yep.
I'm going Skowronek because he had 7 catches for 90 yards, and it looked like Baker had a little chemistry with him last week.
I started Skowronek a couple weeks ago in a tough spot. Didn't I don't know. I get he looks like physically Cooper Kupp. He's
that's where the similarities in though.
Yeah, full point PPR.
Caught 7 passes last week though, man.
Yeah. Chris Moore had over 100 yards, right?
Yeah, that's true too.
I might lean Chris Moore here just because
they're gonna be playing from behind too.
Yeah, against KC. Yeah, I mean this is tough. I mean, if you're in the also shout out Michael Novella making the fantasy playoffs with these guys starting. That's an accomplishment in itself. Rough spot with injuries. All right, from Michelle H. Let's go. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Jared Goff, or Trevor Lawrence. I think I actually have a clear answer on this one.
I'm thinking you're going to say Lawrence because he's hot.
I am.
Yeah, his over-under's hot. It's 47. The game
Goff's hot too, but he's playing the Jets, and I don't love that. The Cowboys are a good defense for sure, but they are vulnerable, and they can be susceptible to shootouts. I mean, Davis Mills and Jeff Driscoll had fine games against them a couple weeks ago. I think that Trevor Lawrence is the player. Brady and Rodgers are not on the radar.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that. Lawrence is hot right now.
Tight end question. Blake Vincent, afternoon boys, Hunter Henry or Evan Ingram?
Man, Ingram had 150 yards.
Ingram at this point, right?
What's up?
Hard to bench Evan Ingram.
Ingram had 150 and 2 touchdowns, and Lawrence is on fire. So you got to ride. You can't. I mean, you don't see it. When it comes to tight ends, you just don't. see 150-yard, 2-touchdown games. I mean, that just doesn't really happen at that position very often. Ingram's too hot to bench right now, and Lawrence is too hot too. So you got to ride that hot hand.
Yeah. Mintz, you have a question I want to get to in just a moment, but I want to say the rest of the show is brought to you by Chevy. Playoff pictures have emerged, but one team has already won, and that team is Chevy. And its star player is the Silverado truck with unstoppable grit and determination. According to J.D. Power, Chevy trucks have earned more new vehicle quality awards than any other brand. That is some serious hardware. Head on over to Chevy.com to learn more. Silverado is as strong and dependable as the people that drive them. For J.D. Power 2022 U.S. award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. I feel like Chevy is just racking up the J.D. Power awards. I mean, I said it once, I've said it again. Chevy Silverado, much bigger than I would think, very spacious, and awesome truck. The back bed, I guess you would call it, is very, very spacious. You can fit a ton of stuff in there. So shout out Chevy Silverado for the partnership. Minty, the question on everybody's mind: how's your buddy Alex Stein doing?
I have no idea. People could ask me whatever they want. I can't win with the situation, but like I deleted and blocked him after all that stuff last time 4 months ago. So, I have no idea the answer to any of that. I was as shocked as anyone on Monday. I didn't know what was. I certainly will say this: if I had it to do over again, I would have run out there and gotten in his face for sure. I did not know. Like literally, it was like all this
clearance. Then after there's a clear photo and video of you looking at him and then turning around.
I saw a tall guy. Like I said that might be him. I did say that. I wasn't sure. I saw a tall guy with a cap. But no, I wish I had that over again. There's no denying that.
What are your thoughts on Dave's remarks that you are a coward?
I mean, I can't win with Dave Portnoy in the public eye on this. I don't think I'm a coward. I think I've mishandled that situation greatly. But I feel like, in the Barstool lane of things, I mean, honestly, people said this, the Rico stuff probably didn't hurt me this week after how hard I got rained on from Monday.
Huge win for you.
I got
situation.
Dude, I know nobody even remembers it now because the Rico took over Barstool. Dude, I got freaking poured on Monday through Wednesday. Check out the Smoke show that's coming out on this Wednesday. But the Stein thing Monday, and then the Tommy Smokes thing Tuesday, and then Lane Kiffin piling on me Wednesday. I mean, I got like the New York look, and I say this, real talk here. I mean, I try to not take myself too seriously, and that's good because if I did, I'd be in real trouble after my first 3 days of the week. But hey, into the New York era, I guess I went out in flames, literally. And hey, no one knew who I was when I moved up there 2 years ago. So I'm gonna, it's like the mental gymnastics spin zone. I'm gonna spin this positively somehow.
Yeah, love it. All right, let's move on to some questions. All right, from Caleb Anderson: Chris Moore or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore's a little nicked up, but he practiced Friday, so I think he's good to go.
Yeah. Chris Moore going to be playing catch-up against KC. DJ Moore's got Pittsburgh.
Low over under.
I think this could be a pretty low-scoring game, but it could also – I mean, both teams are so bad.
I don't know, man. I can't help it because I know DJ didn't have that good of a game in Seattle, but Darnold only threw for like 120 yards last week. But I still like DJ Moore when Darnold's in there.
Okay. Where is it? Tight end question. Evan Schlossberg, David Njoku or Gerald Everett?
Man, Njoku's had, really, really good numbers when he's been in there this year, going back to like week 2 or 3. So even with Watson, I think I'm leaning that way. Chargers got everybody back now, though, with Keenan Allen, Williams, Everett, and Palmer. They've got all their hands on deck, but I think I'm leaning Njoku here. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think Everett has a very safe floor, but I think Njoku has a higher ceiling.
Njoku's damn good, man. The dude makes plays.
Yeah. From Damian Sanchez: George Pickens, Zay Jones, Jahan Dotson, or Elijah Moore?
Cross off Elijah Moore. He's done nothing when Zach Wilson's in there. I mean, that was part of why he asked for the trade.
Mm-hmm.
But of the other three, what do you think? I mean, I guess Guess AJ. I'm gonna let you take it. I don't.
Yeah, I would go Zay. I just think that matchup's going to be high scoring.
Okay.
Pittsburgh, we got Mitch, Jahan Dotson. We're going against the Giants. Could be somewhere. I believe he scored a touchdown in that game, but still, I would go Zay Jones here. From Steve Verfins, pick 2 full point PPR: Isaiah Pacheco, Jerick McKinnon, George Pickens, or David Montgomery. Ooh,
definitely Pacheco is one of them. The question is McKinnon got really involved last week, or Montgomery. I think I'm Pacheco and Montgomery here. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. McKinnon had that was like a 55-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, on that
he
crazy.
He did other things throughout the game, and he has been emerging, especially with Clyde Edwards-Helaire hurt, as kind of that pass catching role. I just don't know that you can really rely on that for a consistently good floor. I wouldn't be surprised if we got 10 carries tomorrow. I'll say that because I think they're going to be ahead by a lot, and I think they're just going to try and kill the clock. Pacheco should get a lot of those, but I think that McKinnon will get a few as well. So, but yeah, I would go Pacheco and Montgomery. From George Cook, Mike Evans or Jamal Williams? I want to say Evans, but we haven't seen it lately. I don't know how much is going to change. Like I said, I think at this point the team is what it is. Would it surprise me to see Evans come out and have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns? It wouldn't. But I think Jamal Williams is probably the safer option, even though his matchup is tougher. You can just kind of rely on him to be involved a little bit more. Mintz, what do you think about this one?
Man, I think I'm going Jamal Williams. I think the Evans problem comes back to the O-line. I think Evans' value so much is, when you look at Tampa's offense, Godwin's still doing really good because Brady's just getting the ball out really quick because the O-line can't protect. But it's hard for Evans to make those big, long pass plays down the field when you got 4 offensive line starters that weren't there last year.
Yeah, what do you think about Evans versus the other Detroit running back, DeAndre Swift?
I wish I knew if this was half point or full point PPR. I get, oh God, that's close. I guess Swift, but man, I don't have a strong opinion, to be honest. You?
I would probably say Swift.
Okay. I really think it's that everybody's bagging so hard on Brady. It's that O-line that's killing them. I'm telling you, that Tampa O-line's, it's just you.
What about Evans versus Garrett Wilson with Zach Wilson? This one, I think I go Evans. I know Wilson has.
I just can't trust Zach Wilson for anything, dude.
Yeah. Oops.
That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Neither.
Go Zoomer Go. Is Sexy Rexy Burkhead playable at all? Texans have so many pieces out. I think he is a plug-in option for this week. He catches passes. He's going to start. You're not really going to find much better in the waiver wire, especially if you're in PPR. If he's in PPR, he is absolutely flex play worthy.
I feel the exact same way. No Dameon Pierce and the rest of their backs are just Jags anyway, just a guy. And they're going to be playing from behind. So, dude, he might catch 7 or 8 balls, PPR. A bet that might be interesting on the Sportsbook, if they have an over-under on his receptions tomorrow, I'm going to look at the over. I think that'd be interesting.
From our guy, SoCal Dude. Half-point PPR, pick 2. Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Jerick McKinnon, David Montgomery, or Christian Kirk.
Godwin for sure with how many targets he's getting.
Yeah,
the next one is between David Montgomery and Amari Cooper to me.
Going against the Eagles is a very tough matchup.
And he doesn't really catch many passes on the half-point PPR part.
I think I might go Amari Cooper.
Okay.
Amari Cooper and Chris Godwin.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
There we go. Judas from the Bible or Benjamin Mintz? That's people want to know. It's close for me, honestly. So we got, Judas obviously betrays Jesus. Ben Mintz, man, betraying Dave Portnoy. I'll start Mintz. I'll bench Judas. So you get off the hook on this.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Steve.
Shout out Flapjack. Mincy putting in OT during vacation. Mincy.
I got stuff. Look, I've got to clear. I realize. Did you see the Dave remote report thing on the rundown? You seen that? Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff. I realize I'm gonna have eyeballs all over me, and I've got some stuff coming out soon, and you're gonna get a kick out of it. But we might be doing a little earlier in the morning than you thought, Steven, because I saw your comments on that on the yak.
I love it.
We got to clear my name of all these false charges.
From Darren Hobbs, our guy, Tony Pollard, who is losing touches and relies on touchdowns, or a fresh J.K. Dobbins off injury. I got to go Pollard here.
Me too, man. Pollard's just so freaking good and explosive. And like
Tony Dobbins, Pollard, do not look back.
Yeah, Dobbins had the 150-yard game last week, but I still don't know it. Like you said, this Ravens running back.
Stay away from the Baltimore backfield. It'll be your undoing.
Yeah. I'm going Pollard.
From David Cooper, a hater. Why does this show exist? We got people tuning in. It's a fantasy playoff.
My question, I want to say this. This is going to get on him. Nothing cracks me up more than when people hate on stuff. Like, clearly you care. Why are you commenting on it, dumbass? You know, no. There's like all this stuff. Like the amount of crap I've caught lately that I don't deserve anything to. Well, people sure do have a lot of opinions if I'm not relevant. That's all I'm saying. Like, I just feel like this is like one of the funniest things of Barstool.
That's
like
my
people like
too.
Lean into stuff. Like, this is why this stuff exists, because you obviously care enough about it to comment about it. So the joke's on you, David Cooper.
Right. I actually, when I've gone out in the past few live dozen matches, I've been booed. And I actually think I would prefer being booed than cheered. There's no greater honor than going into a stadium, arena, theater, whatever, and being booed before the performance starts, in my opinion. And some people can be, obviously you get a standing ovation or whatever, that's very cool. Hard to top that. But I think being booed by a large amount of people is exceptional. And
Steven, I got news for you. You can come to New Orleans anytime and you'll get rained on. And
probably only if the Saints are very good.
Oh, okay. It had nothing to do with my bank account at all.
Shout out Spice Cracker guy.
No, but regardless, I don't know. I'm getting used to it. It's funny because like my first year and a half at Barstool, like I was like super like baby face well liked, and now like a lot of people have turned on me, so I'm getting used to this new role. But you know, we persevere.
Yeah, all the people chiming in. Shout out SadFart64. Everybody chiming in. All right, we got to get to the games. Let's go through three more of these. It's fantasy playoff time. People are desperate for an answer on these. All right, Trevor Martin, pick three. Your guy, Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, Deontay Foreman, or David Montgomery. So we're basically
I don't like Foreman against Pittsburgh's not the best matchup, I don't think.
Yeah, he's splitting time with Chuba as well.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's a low over under. I think I'm going to bench Foreman.
I like this one. Jalen Waddle, Ramondre Stevenson, or Cam Akers, flex number 2, full point PPR.
I think you go. It's just an easy one. You go Ramondre, and if something comes up and he doesn't play, Akers plays Monday.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. The Packers, I believe, are last in the league in rushing the last 3 games. Rushing defense the last 3 games. So I think Akers is a sneaky decent start. But in PPR, yeah, if Ramondre is playing, you got to go Ramondre. He's catching 5 to 7 balls a game. So you got to go that way. Very shocking, Jamie. I agree. Mincy gave Stein his key card. Unreal.
Yeah. I want this known for the record while we're talking about this. That was the first time I've seen Alex Stein in person since 2009, face to face. Literally, it's a true story.
All right, let's end it on. All right, we'll end it on this one. Show. From Edwin W. Villarol Jr. Flex, Raheem Mostert, Devin Singletary, or Alan Lazard?
Well,
it's a tough one.
God, that's tough.
I might go Devin Singletary. I don't think you can trust
Singletary's from Miami. He's playing the old hometown team.
Yeah, but not in Miami.
No, he had a big game down there in the first one.
Yep, as forecast by me, just incorrectly with mainly receiving yards. I'm going to go Devin Singletary in the snow. All right, Mincy. Let's take one more. For a guy, Derek Drummond, Latavius Murray or Bam Knight.
Knight's looking good to me, man. I think you got to go Bam, dude.
Easy Bam.
Yeah, Bam looks good, man. The Murray thing, I mean, just anything with Denver is just, I mean, you got to rip it out there starting. It's bad.
Yes. All right, Mincy, this has been a lot of fun. We're going to resurface this on Sunday for anyone that missed it. There were a lot of Sunday-specific questions. So for Ben Mintz, myself, Stephen Cheah, fantasy playoffs today. We're starting in 5 minutes. Good luck to everybody. Hopefully you can survive in advance, and we'll see you next Saturday, right, Mincy?
Yep, we'll do it next Saturday. We'll see you next Saturday. We're gonna do Saturday the next few weeks.
I think just next week, because the week after is no Saturday, and we'll talk about what we'll do.
Yeah, got it. But the next Sunday is like New Year's Day, though. But what it doesn't matter. We'll make it work. We just appreciate all y'all sticking with us, and thank y'all.
Yep. Later, guys.